This tutorial is a presentation of the basic functionalities you can find when you're using Garmin BaseCamp. So when you start BaseCamp, you straight away arrive to the basic map, and you can zoom in and zoom out using your roll on your mouse, or you can use your keyboard using the plus and the minus. Minus you go out and plus you go in. When you've got in your toolbar here, there's a main tools you will use. So if the hand is selected, that means you can move the map when you drag and drop up and down. And if you can use the zoom button, you can also zoom from some square area, and you can go in and out using the minus button. So, and you can also use the arrow that will be used for selecting and grabbing object on your map. So be sure you got the pan and select it, and then you can move around, and we'll see the rest of the button a little bit later on. When we look at our map, it's not very good because it's using the basic map, but we can do better. We can use the map provided with our GPS device. So the first thing we are going to do is basically to connect our GPS to our computer. So after a little while, the GPS is connected to the computer. You sometimes might have to press OK on the GPS. Just check that if it's not asking you any question, you might have to press on the GPS. So we're still waiting for the GPS to come online, and here it is. We can see it now. So on the left side, you can see that you've got the library, My Collection, which is exactly what you've got in your computer, and you got your list of devices that are connected to your computer at the moment. And we can see we've got our Rhino 650 that is connected. And so therefore the first thing we can do, we can then go into the map product display here, and we are going to change, and we are going to use the Topo Australia, which one from the GPS. So we'll give it a bit of time, and then we can see it's going to be really better, especially if I'm starting to zoom and we have some better topographic maps. As soon as you will disconnect your GPS from your computer, you will go back to these maps here, which is not very good, but you should be really comfortable having your GPS connected. So a few words on the library management. Like any folder and files, and like in Google Earth, you have to organize your files properly. So if I'm having a look at my library at the moment, My Collection, it is basically empty, and I'm going to organize it a little bit better. So the first thing, I'm going to create some folders because I'm going to work on different subjects. So I'm going to do a right click on My Selection and New List folder. Then I will call the first one Fire. And I'm going to do another one just for width. Right click on My Collection, New List folder, and width. And quickly another one called Feral. And inside these folders, I can create some subfolders if I want to. So let's say right click on Fire, New List folder, 2014. And another one on Fire, for example, 2015. So I cannot put data straight away inside these folders. The container for data are what we call a list. So I'm going to create a list in 2015 inside there, right click, create a new list, and I will call it area number 1. And I'm going to create another one. Right click, new list, area number 2. I can do that for all the different subfolders, and then I can have a very nicely organized My Collection area number 20. So this is where I can put waypoint and tracks and routes inside the list themselves, not inside the folders. So let's say I'm in area 9 and I want to mark, let's say, some waypoint in some different places. So here, for example, I want to mark a waypoint for later on. I'm going to use this little flaggy, new waypoint, and I'm going to, let's say, go on to Wilton. Is then now have created a waypoint, and it's actually using the name that's in there called Wilton, and this waypoint it's inside area 9. If I click on area 2, I will not see it, but if I click on 2014, I will see everything that is in 2014, area 9, area 1 and area 2. Let's create another one, let's say in area 2. Got my new waypoint selected, and I'm going to create somewhere in the park, and just give it a name. Straight away when I've done my left click, it's creating a name called Lehman National Park, but I can change the name. I can just do a left click on it, and I can call him point 1. So this point 1 is in area 2. In area 1 we've got Wilton, and if I click on 2014, I will see 2 points. Simple as that. So if I want to create some tracks, let's say now in area 1, and I'm going to the 2 steps here, a new track, and I can click 2, 3 different clicks, or I can also maintain my click down and move around to have some better shape like that. So once I release this, I can finish, I think, on a double click for the last point, then I'm free again, and he gave it a name track inside area 9. But I'm going to call this one, so I'm going to click, I'm going to rename this, so I can click on it, or I can do a right click, rename. I'm going to call it track A1. So in area 1 we've got one waypoint Wilton and a track. In area 2 only 1 point. I can, if I want to, I can create one track in area 20 within 2015. So I can do the same thing. I got my new track selected here, and I can do another one here, and I finish on a double click, and it also gave me the name track, but I want to change this. One click and then another one, track number ABC, and this is what we've got now. One track in 2015 area 20, one track, one waypoint in area 2, one waypoint, one track in area 1 to 14. If I click on 214, I see everything that is in area 1 and area 2, and if I click on the fire, I will see everything that's inside fire, which is area 1, area 2 and everything. So this is how it works. You click on what you want in your collection, and in this box here, this is what it's inside your collection, inside the specific folder, your specific selection. That really is the main thing. So now let's say I've got my this track ABC here inside my area 20 folder, and I want to sort of edit it and change a few things in it. So the only thing that I have to do is to double click on track ABC, double click, and then I've got my track here that is selected. If I select with the left click as viewpoint, I can see where I am and what are the different altitude, elevation and so on. I can also change the color. I can go on this box here and I can change it, for example, to yellow, and now it is yellow. I can change the name, track ABC2, and there is all sorts of other information for the elevation that you can use, and I can track it. Very useful. And then if I click on the cross here, we now know that it's all in yellow and it's nice. So that will really gonna be the thing you will be using, a creating point if you want to, that you want to export later on into your GPS, and same thing for the tracks. So this is a basic creation tool. So I can then move, if I want to select, I want to see everything that is inside fire, I click on fire and I've got all my tracks now. Got the points, and I can go around, or if I decide that I want to use my zoom, I can have a specific zoom on this, like that. Go back and zoom out with the minus key, and I can also use the select button, and you will select the track if I want to do something with them. Another tool that you will probably use is the measurement tool. So I just select it, and then you just have to do one click for the beginning, and it will let you know the angle and also the distances, and you can change the unit. Actually it's in miles, but you can put it into kilometers. and it will also tell you errors when you keep on clicking.